Hello, everybody. Arsenal fan circle here. It is the pregame show. We did this last year, and we were announcing the lineups live for you. We go into the second weekend of the Premier League. Arsenal having beaten Crystal Palace 2-0 away from home, the first game of the season at Selhurst Park on a Friday night, and 2-0 scoreline mirrors what we did at what happened to us at Brentford last season. So very very happy to turn that scoreline from a 2-0 defeat into a 2-0 win, and also to vanquish the demons of Crystal Palace and Selhurst Park in that first win on Friday. So we go into the second weekend full of confidence. The team should be flowing with confidence right now. It's going to be a short video, a pre-game lineup, and the lineups should be announced pretty soon. So I'm going to check and see if they are out right now. Um, One thing to note: Leicester City, going stretching back into last season, have not kept a clean sheet in 26 games, and combine that with Arsenal's confidence going into the season. 5 games unbeaten, 5 winning games in preseason. Nuremberg, Everton, Orlando City, Chelsea, and Sevilla, piling up the goals and not conceding many. So, going to combine those two factors and say I'm going to go for a 3-0 win today. But let me see if I can get a beat on the lineup here. So the lineup is in. I'll announce it verbally first. Ramsdale keeps his place, of course, in goal. White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko. So the same back five. Partey, Granit Xhaka, Erdegaard in midfield, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus. So an unchanged lineup from Crystal Palace. And why would you change the lineup 7 days later from a win, 8 days later from a win against Crystal Palace? So really, going into this home game, we should be full of confidence. I understand it's really, really warm and hot in the UK right now, so there will be water breaks, as we've seen with the Aston Villa Everton game. Aston Villa leading that game at halftime. So let me put in the lineup here for you. Just bear with me as I type it out. But yeah, what I was wanted to say was water breaks will come in to play, so we will want to get off to a good start again. Get off to a flying start. Um, Saliba, so it's Ramsdale, White, Gabriel, Saliba, Zinchenko as your back five. Partey, Granit Xhaka. So throw some comment in there. Let me know what you think about the last 8 days as an Arsenal fan. It's actually, I feel like life is going to be good this season. We're going to get a lot of wins. We can't lose as many games as we have done last season. Saka, Martinelli, Martinelli, we hope will keep up the fine form that he has been displaying for us since Friday. And we want maybe a home debut goal for Gabriel Jesus as well. So this is your lineup. Arsenal versus Leicester: Ramsdale, White, Gabriel, Saliba, Zinchenko, Partey, Xhaka, Erdegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus. So let me know your thoughts on that. Craig is in the house. Thanks for joining me, Craig. This is something that we will be doing on a regular basis. I also want to introduce a new feature. I'm going to drop in a video in the gap between Sunday and Thursday. I'm going to drop in a video which is just going to be a pre-recorded video. I'm going to call it Full Circle. So it's basically going to be my full thoughts post the Sunday game and post what I've been thinking about Arsenal since the results. So we have a game today on Saturday. I'll be dropping a video on Monday or Tuesday about that. So basically, just to put it cross the T's and dot the I's, put a full period on the game itself, Arsenal versus Leicester. I think what we'll be looking for today is more of a complete performance, more of a I thought we were very controlled against Crystal Palace. Personally speaking, our inner fears about the fixtures, about the Friday night, about playing at Selhurst Park, came through with a lot of us Schooners, and we felt nervous during the game. When I watched the game back, I actually felt a lot more calm when I watched the game back on Friday night. So we've got Stan who has joined us. Listen, it's always nice to bounce off somebody in the live stream, and going solo, I'm not the best at it. So Stan, I'm very happy you're able to join me.
You might be happy, but I've not had any sleep yet.
Yeah, I did see on your timeline. The question was, go to sleep now and get some kip, or keep going.
Yeah, Mrs. is away. She's been away for 3 weeks. I've got nobody here to rein me in. And you know what it's like on a Friday night? You have a few beers, you get into Netflix, you get the DJ decks on. Before you know it, it's 4 a.m, and the football's starting.
And you're maybe I can help you bridge that last hour to the game, right? Because you get to that last hour and you're like hanging on, right?
Yeah. Should have seen me half an hour ago, mate. I was still running around. It's starting to hit me a bit now.
Well, this is the pre-game show, so hopefully we can get you warmed up for the game, get you excited again for it. Listen,
did you see the lineup?
Yeah, the lineup, I've got it there. Ramsdale, White, Gabriel, Saliba, Zinchenko, Partey, Xhaka, Erdegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus. So same lineup as last Friday.
Yeah, I didn't expect any changes, to be fair. You see that we've got both of our fullbacks are on the bench, so I wonder if they'll both make an appearance if we're cruising.
What I think,
Mikel Arteta, right? I need minutes at some point.
Exactly, and I think that's one of the mistakes Mikel Arteta should have reflected on over the summer. That we rode the same 11 for the most part throughout the spring and into Easter, and we got found out a little bit because when we needed to call on those players that were sitting on the bench, they didn't have enough minutes, they didn't have enough rhythm in the team to get us through Crystal Palace, Brighton, and Southampton away from home. Those were probably the most damaging results for us.
Yeah.
You know.
Good morning, the assembled. I'm doing very well. I'm just very tired because I've not been to bed yet. I've been a naughty boy.
Yeah, Stan is going the long route, right? You didn't park and take a little rest stop. You're going all the way through.
Yeah, so my Saturday's just going to be ruined now. So I'll probably have a kip for most of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but in fairness, it's 6 a.m. right there for you right now, local time.
Yeah, and I got my times mixed up. I thought the match was starting at 6 o'clock.
No, you got another hour to go. That's why
I was lying in bed at 5 o'clock, and I was like, "There's no point. It's on in an hour." And then I realised it was 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I've been roped in to do a watch along with Ryan and Gary. I'll probably sleep for most of that.
Well, let's hope Arsenal do enough things that can keep the adrenaline flowing, keep things going. You've actually picked a 3-1 win today, Stan, right?
Yeah, you've got to factor in the obligatory Jamie Vardy goal, right?
Or the obligatory VAR session with the linesman.
Yeah.
And the referees. I think we can ride this confidence that we've been rolling into pre-season with. 5 wins in pre-season, coupled with that win at Selhurst Park. Look, we lost our way a little bit, and if you're a little bit nervous, but when you look back on it, I look back on it the second time, and I obviously know the results. You feel a lot more calm about it, but we were very controlled. Other than those 2 key chances we did give up, the header from Edouard just before halftime, and Eze's chance. Really, that was a clear-cut chance from Eze. Probably a better chance than the Edouard one. But Ramsdale came up big for us.
I'm just concerned that we seem to have a good feel factor around at the moment. Yeah. I mean, if you go online and you look at people's predictions, I don't think there's anybody that said anything other than an Arsenal win, which tells you that people are feeling good after last week. So it's really important that the team is able to build on that, because if there's a slip up today, I dread to think how
Hmm.
they'll be. You know what I mean. 1 minute everybody's happy and we're moving in the right direction, and it takes one slip up and there's a complete 180 turnaround in people's opinions,
Yeah.
and then it would be back to we're still shit. Arteta hasn't learned anything. Blah 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 blah. So it's really important that we continue with the momentum for this game.
As an Arsenal fan, it's either feast or famine, right? It's either the end of the world or everything's brilliant and we're going to win the league. There has to be some balance in between, in the middle, and I think we try to provide that here.
Yeah, I mean, it transpired that the only reason that we got that Friday fixture last week was because people were expecting a slip up. They thought it was going to be big TV. And I suppose in one way they got their slip up, but it wasn't the slip up they wanted.
Yeah. The assemble said exactly, Stan. The problem is our backups are not of the right quality. You mentioned the fullbacks, Stan. The way I look at our fullbacks, you got two sets of fullbacks that are kind of traditional fullbacks, right? They bomb up and down the line. They keep, as you say, their boots are have the chalk or lime on their boots, right? Because they keep that outside line. Tierney and Tommy Asu, those are the two I'm thinking about. And then we have options. We have Zinchenko and Ben White, who can. It's the new way of playing, right? It's inverted fullbacks that wander into midfield.
Yeah, Zinchenko does a lot of that, doesn't he? He covers a lot in that top half space and comes
Yeah,
inside. But maybe when we've got everybody to choose from, you might find games where it might be mixed up a little bit. You might find Tierney on the left hand side, and maybe a Ben White on the right hand side, or Tomiyasu on the right hand side with a Zinchenko on the left, so that you've got one inverted and one traditional. Mix it up a bit. That's going to be interesting to see what happens when they're all fit.
Many people gave Arteta a lot of credit for being a really good coach. So, using the players and their flexibilities, I think he'll be able to put some lineups out there that could be tactically different and pose some more problems to teams, especially away from home.
Well, that's the key thing with the I think with this transfer window and what's left of it, because I do think that it's not business isn't finished yet. What we've done now is that we've now got a team that's starting to have a bit more variety. And what I mean by that is I felt that for last season, I felt we became very easy to read. Teams knew
Yeah,
exactly what the lineup was going to be and how we were going to play. Now we have a little bit more variety, a little bit more strings to our bow. So teams don't necessarily know how it's going to play out when they come to the Emirates. So that's
yeah.
good.
The assemble asks, "What's the height of our defenders?" Tomiyasu is the tallest. He's the one who can potentially be a central defender if we're in a pitch and we have some injuries. We don't want to get to that stage where we have some injuries. I think most of the other defenders are around 5'7". Cedric is shorter. Tierney is about 5'7" as well, and definitely Sinchenko is the same height as Lisandro Martinez. Lisandro Martinez went to Manchester United, and
Max Mini.
Sinchenko, they're the same height, and one is being asked to be a central defender at Manchester United. The other is being asked to be a fullback, an inverted fullback as well, so where height is not as critical for me.
And also William Big Bill Saliba is a bit of a unit, isn't he?
Yes,
You know,
yes. As
he's a big rotund lad.
what's the term, Tony? A brick shit house or
Yeah.
brick shit house? That's what Tony's been asking for all the time. Now he gets it, and he wants Saliba to. He thinks Saliba's going to mysteriously disappear off to Olympic Marseille again. Not to pick on Tony while he's not here, but he has been saying that a lot.
Yeah. It's a Tony take.
Uh, Gary 1999. Listen, that's a new face around here, so consider subscribing, like on the stream. We will be doing pre-game shows like this where we announce the lineup. We have a Sunday show tomorrow and late Thursday nights here on the east coast of the states, or really early doors Friday morning UK time. So let me know where you're coming from, Gary 1999. Any other thoughts on the lineups, Dan, and who are you hoping to score today?
No, it's the lineup I wanted to see. I mean, with everybody that's kind of fit, that's our best 11. Who do I want to see score today? Well, it'd be nice to get Gabriel Jesus off the mark at
Off the
home,
mark,
to
definitely.
get him to score at the Emirates, and it'd be good as well. I'm really interested this season in seeing Eddie Nketiah live up and show his value to the
Hmm.
contract that he got.
Yeah.
So
Eddie
you know,
Nketiah is in
oh,
on the subs bench. Emil Smith Rowe joins as well. Pepe. So those are our attacking options.
and
And as
also
you said,
and also as well, Martin Odegaard. I'd like to see him chip in with a goal.
yeah, yeah, Saliba has been a revelation, Stan, and we want him to continue to have a controlled performance. And you know, we have to understand as well. These are young players, and Saliba's a young player. He's got to make a mistake or two, right?
Oh, of course. I mean, in the position that he plays in a position that when mistakes are made, they can be very costly.
Yeah.
So I just hope that again, when I was talking earlier about how fans can do their quick 180s, that should he have a let's say he has a mistake in today's game, we just have to suck it up. He's shown us the quality that he's got. The thing is that when you're at that age and you've got the quality, it's about being able to string together consistent performances,
Hmm.
and that's something that's going to come. You know, it will come with time. And I honestly think that the loan period that he had out done him the world of good.
Yes.
It's made him a much better player.
100%.
He comes into the team now as a more established player rather than someone who's coming in being a bit part player and missing out and not getting the chance because he's not considered at the level yet.
I think the key word that I'm taking into the today is confidence. When you talk about Saliba and what he's gained from Marseille the last 2 years, is a real measure of confidence going up against. Okay, some people call it the Farmers League, but there's a couple of really good players in Ligue 1, and especially Mbappe. And then we know there's a couple of duels that Saliba had with Mbappe, and it's done him the world of good. To be fair,
Yeah, of course it has. I mean, the only the only the only ball drop was when we kept him for that 6 months and didn't register him, and he kind of
yeah,
stagnated a bit for six
yeah,
months. That was something that at this level
was he good?
for a football club at our level, you can't afford to make a mistake like that. But other than that, I think his time away, it's done him. I think it's done him the world of good.
Yeah,
And it is, you know, we used to laugh when people, you know, when Wenger used to talk about people coming back from injuries or loans and talking about they're like a new signing, or he is like a new signing.
yeah, lands like a new signing,
He
and I
really
think
is, though, isn't he? He's literally just out the cellophane for Arsenal because you've never seen
exactly.
him kick a ball in anger.
Yeah, and a lot of us haven't. Look, we haven't been watching his performances in France. You just hear very much like when Arteta said to Emil Smith Rowe, when he sent him away on loan. I don't want to be. I know you're a good player. I just want to hear what other people are going to say about you. And Saliba has been the same way. Uh, Voted, I think, French Player of the Year this year in France as well. Listen, there's five or six of you in the chat. You'll never have a better opportunity to put a question out there to us because Sunday shows and Thursday night shows are busier and just more stuff going on. So if you have a question, throw it at us. Um,
Yeah, try
Saliba,
it out there and just to get the ball rolling. For me, it's boxers over wife runs.
let it all hang out on the weekend. Boxers for sure, right?
Mr. Tom's reared his head. Morning,
Mr.
Mr. Tom.
Tom is telling us good luck. But yeah, listen, whether he means that genuinely or not, I don't know, but I believe he does. Um, they go to
Let us know in the chat box who you've got today, Mr. Tom. I don't know what leads I've got today, so let us know.
Southampton away.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's my that's my
you're
upset pick. Sorry, Mr. Tom, my upset
you've
pick is
gone
Southampton.
you've
It's
gone against them.
there's a
Listen,
big it's a big point spread, right? So it's worth the gamble, isn't it?
yeah,
Big
I'm
point
going to
spread.
announce live. I'm going to announce live right now my upset pick, and I think I'm going to go for Chelsea beating Tottenham tomorrow.
Yeah,
Eighth versus first. Tottenham first in the league, obviously with that 4-1 win
they're
over
usually a draw though. That
Yeah,
fixture.
yeah. I'll take it though. I was really tempted to take the easy 2 points, Manchester City fourth place over Bournemouth. The way it's nuanced at the start of the season, the league positions are a bit strange, right?
Yeah.
You know, um, Saliba is getting a lot of good punditry, lots of Virgil van Dijk references, but I think we should maybe stop doing that and just
Yeah, I mean, I get it, right? Because Virgil van Dijk was considered a great find by Liverpool, and is one of the best defenders in the league. And that, and I'm sure that Virgil van Dijk probably couldn't get to sleep the other night with his phone was probably blasting up and notifications. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah.
he's his own. William Saliba is his own player. Do you know what I
William
mean?
Saliba
He's
is
not
his
he's
own
not the
player.
next Virgil van Dijk. He's the current William Saliba.
What do you see in Saliba's play? Obviously, this is a lot of us see what
It
you
was
what
only the
you can
one
see.
game, but I noticed like whereas Squadron Mustafa used to come sliding in on his ass to make a tackle and totally fuck it up and cost you.
Yeah,
He done that a couple of times and he got the ball nicely. I mean, I think he made, I can't remember how many tackles he made, but he never got any bookings.
5 or 6. Yeah,
Never got any bookings. I think not Rob Holding, Ben White got the most tackles, was 5, and the most duels. But I think Saliba had good tackling stats as well, and he didn't get a booking, which is, sometimes you even expect a defender to be in a situation where they might have to even take one for the team to close down an opportunity from the other side, and they get a yellow. And even that sometimes is considered being a bit shrewd. He didn't get any cards, so that was quite noticeable.
when you have a car that can just cruise. Saliba seems like that type of player who can just cruise, and it doesn't seem like you're even putting your foot on the pedal too much. Yeah, Saliba, and also when you mentioned Mustafi, Colonel Mustard, he was never really in position, and Saliba always seems to be able to read the game, be in position. And if he's ever in a situation where he's in a foot race, he's winning that. He's winning that race. And the other thing, he's not jumping in. He guides players down the sides. He doesn't. He realizes where to be positioned, where the danger is, and he shepherds players away, allowing other players to come back and cover for him. So I
It's
really
also
see good things in Saliba.
it's also going to be really interesting to see how he performs after coming off of the back of a week where everyone's been blowing smoke up his ass. He's actually
Yeah,
won Man of the Match Premier League, award for his first game. It's going to be interesting to see, just like what his
yeah,
character's like. How does he come? How does he follow that up? Is he complacent, or is it a flash in the pan and we see the real William Saliba because he was
yeah.
just having the
Same shot.
adrenaline, or do we see the Rolls Royce that I think he is, and he puts together yet another continued performance? See, this is what I said when. Do you remember when everyone was talking about is he even going to come back to Arsenal? What if they put a bid in for him at Marseille and they want to keep him and he doesn't want to come back? And I was always, we haven't got any Champions League and I was always like, why can't he just come back to Arsenal, keep his head down, believe in himself, work hard, when he gets an opportunity, take it, and cause a headache for the manager? And it seems to be that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know,
And my take on that is that I'm going to say it now. He looks like that quietly confident person who's not really too. He doesn't get too high and he doesn't get too low. I think he looks very even, and this is what Virgil van Dijk is like. Listen, I just said let's not make the comparisons, and here I'm doing it as well. Virgil van Dijk doesn't seem to get flustered too much unless he doesn't have players in front of him covering him, and I think communication is important as well for Saliba to be able to communicate with Gabriel. They did. Gabriel played for Lille, so there maybe is no problem there with language that they can communicate. And I just want to see Saliba having another composed performance. For me, last week against Crystal Palace, Ramsdale was the one who gave me the worries a little bit. He did a couple of things, and sometimes goalkeepers can unsettle defenders. We talked about defenders unsettling goalkeepers. I felt it was the other way around last Friday.
as much as I like Ramsdale, he still, I think, is a work in progress. You know, he still has a lot to his game. As a shot stopper, I don't think there was really that much between him and Bert Leno. I think Bert Leno was a very good goalkeeper.
Yeah,
It's just some
yeah,
of their style of play as a goalkeeper is very different. And Mikel Arteta believes that Ramsdale has more of the attributes that he wants
it's
in his game. We
and it's
talk
that
about
distribution, right?
distribution, we talk about communication with the defenders, but I don't think that there is that much between Ramsdale and Bert Leno for their level of quality. I think Bert Leno is a very, very good keeper, and I think Fulham should be pinching themselves that they've managed to get him
Yeah,
on such a good
they
deal.
got him. They got him for peanuts
Yeah,
and a bag of crisps. As Sambo said, Saliba just needs backing, just needed backing while he's in his development. Needs it and needed it. I think aside from those 3 to 6 months where we didn't know what we were going to do with him, he didn't get his loan. I think we've handled his development quite well. And again, Mikel Arteta, I don't know why people need to start coming around to him a little bit. I think we've seen a little bit of that. Looking at the Amazon documentary, you can't deny that he has a passion for Arsenal, and he's going to hold players accountable, and he only wants players there that are going to make us better.
you can't force people to change their minds. And you just reminded me of a tweet that I highlighted earlier. Let's see if I can find it. Where is it?
Well, you can keep talking while you're finding it. I think looking at that Liverpool away last season, where we went, you never walk alone. I think that was horrible to do that in the training ground, and but I think he's progressed. Even watching the Amazon documentary, you go through 3 or 4 months very quickly, from let's say late October, early November when we played Liverpool away from home and lost 4-0. So when we played them, even in the cup game, we held them to 0-0 with Granit Xhaka being sent off. But all the way throughout, we had a good November, good December, let's say. And I think Arteta's team talks have gotten better as he's gone on. Let's not forget he is still a young manager, and he's learning the whole time. Yes, we have to hold him accountable now because we can't say he's a rookie anymore. He's been in this job for 2.5 years,
Mm-hmm.
going into his, I think, third full season. So we can't hold him. We have to hold him accountable. But I think he's progressing all the time.
It's a big season for the manager. It's a big season for some of the players as well. I think it's a big season for a player like Martinelli. I think
Yes,
Martinelli needs to just
break
take it
out.
up now to another notch. Same
Mm-hmm.
with ESR and Saka. They're all prospects, right? But you know, this is another season now. They're all another year older. They all played a lot of games last season, which maybe in a perfect world they wouldn't have played with a full squad. But you can't rein that back in now. You can't start. You know, you've now got to give them the same amount of time because they're at that level. So it's going to be interesting to see whether they're worth the minutes and that we get that return. And
Yeah,
I think it was fantastic that Martinelli got off the board last week.
this is what he needed. He
Yeah,
needed to get off to a good start.
yeah.
Um, I always thought if we switched out Lacazette for a, let's say, more involved striker that can get to all areas of the pitch quicker. Lacazette, we saw in the documentary where he was being um, kind of coached to say, "Listen, you need to stay in the box and be there on the end of the moves, not try to engineer the beginning of the moves because you do have players. Now you got Gabriel Jesus, and it's no coincidence that they know each other because they play for the Brazil national team as well. They know each other really well. The two of the Gabbies need to connect, and I think Martinelli's going to profit most maybe out of Gabriel Jesus joining us.
Yeah, it did make me chuckle when they sat Lacazette down to show him the Benzema footage.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Because I was thinking,
Lacazette's like, you want me to be like Benzema? It's
it's
not
like,
going to
yeah,
happen.
I'm about to retire, mate. You know what I mean? This is like 20 years too late. That's the
Yeah,
sort of thing you should be doing with Eddie and Ketia, right?
yeah,
You know, you should be showing younger strikers footage of Lacazette.
yeah,
If that makes any
yeah,
sense, you know what I mean? Not
yeah.
showing Lacazette.
I think at the time he was just saying, "Okay, you're in the box, but you're standing beside the defender." Benzema was able to pull away a couple of yards, something like we were seeing Haaland doing. I know we're comparing Lacazette to Haaland. Ray Anderson said here, "White seems faster, or did Zaha get slower?" I think White is just a competitive player. He likes that the bit of aggro. He likes the bit of needle in a game,
Quite
and
funny, Ben White, listening to him in the All or Nothing. Like he comes from a background where there's no football.
yeah,
None of his family are into football. He's got, he's not like his father was into Arsenal or a London team, you know. So you got to think that to get to that level with not really having that around him, he's actually applied himself and done pretty well.
hmm,
It's not like it doesn't sound like he's got.
yeah,
Maybe his dad did take him to drive him to games, but he hasn't got like a dad that's into football who's going on about it with him and sharing that with him. So that kind of tells you a little bit about his character. That he's obviously quite narrow-minded and has goals and likes to reach them. Because
yeah.
it'd be quite easy for him to have been to have strayed and got into another area in his life without having that around him, right? You'd think.
Another thing to take into account is this is the cream of the crop. This is the best players. This is the top of the pile. Okay, we have to get past our rivals that are vying for third and fourth spot, at Chelsea or at Tottenham. We got to beat those out this season. But then you got next levels to go to Manchester City and Liverpool. Let's get through a few comments here. December said the sun is on the players' back. Let's see when rain and sleet is pouring down. It's also let's see how to deal with expectation. We have expectation today, and the atmosphere is going to be there. Whether you hate the Angel or not, they're going to play it before the game. I actually think it helps with the atmosphere. It's not a hindrance. It's not something that inhibits the displays of the players. I think it pumps players up, and it may help us to get off to a good start. I think a lot of um, games last season we didn't have those great starts. Saliba has already passed a major test when at Marseille when he took on the best PSG could throw at them.
Yeah,
Exactly. Mbappe. So he's ready for the Premier League, but notwithstanding, he's a young player. Exactly, Misfit. He won't come up that sort of quality very often. Yeah, he's gonna face tests, and he may not face them today, but he's got to be concentrated. We're going to be here for about another 6 or 7 minutes, and then I'll let Stan go and prepare for the watch along over on Mr. Arsenal with Gary and Ryan. For me, Ramsdale. Steven said for me, Ramsdale had a good game last week. He more than made up for the two slip ups with two great saves, and his passing was gold as well. You need a goalkeeper. They always say goalkeepers save you points or gain you points, Dan. And Ramsdale was called in action last Friday.
yeah. He made a couple of vital saves when needed, and I've always felt like sometimes, for example, with Martinez when he went through his patch, and everyone was saying that he was like the next best thing since like the invention of the wheel. But you got to remember that he was constantly being peppered with shots. And I always think that the mark of a goalkeeper is a goalkeeper that doesn't have to do anything for maybe 80 minutes,
Yeah,
and then something happens, and they're ready, they're switched
yeah,
on, and they make that save. When you've got
exactly.
shots coming at you all throughout the game, you're constantly switched on, right? You're ready. You're not getting any respite.
Concentration.
You're not getting any respite. But if you've got a team that's really good defensively and you don't get many shots, and you've got to be switched on for when it happens.
Yeah. And that's what I think I love about Saliba. Listen, I'm going to big up Saliba a little bit because I think he's that type of player that just lives for defending, you know. And he sees the mistakes, he sees the danger before it comes. Listen, Villa just put Everton into a bad start of the season, 2-1. That's full time. Emi Buendia popping up, and in the 85th minute, 2-0 lead, and Lucas Digne with an own goal for Everton right at the end. So a little bit of drama right at the end, but two poor teams. Aston Villa at home though, getting through. Um, against Fat Frank. Everyone is forgetting that for 70 minutes, Arsenal were making hard work of the game. You got to give some, for me, you got to give some credit to Crystal Palace. Everybody wants to big up Patrick Vieira, and look, he's doing a great job there. So why not have that respect for Patrick Vieira and what Crystal Palace have done as well? They've beaten last season at home. They beat Manchester United, Tottenham, and us, and they drew with Manchester City at home. They got 10 points out of 18 with top six games. So you got to put some respect on what Patrick Vieira is doing over at Crystal Palace. And I think they're going to give Liverpool some problems on Monday. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think Zaha will pop up and maybe get a goal. And I think they're going to give Liverpool some problems. Liverpool have injuries in midfield. They're going to struggle with. What's your thoughts on that, Stan?
Yeah, I think Liverpool need to get something a little bit extra in their midfield, but you can never count them out. It's going to be interesting to see how they bounce back after their bad opening for the season. But for me, Liverpool don't seem like a team that will go, a couple of games on the bounce without getting the spoils.
Yeah.
So who are they playing today?
They are playing on Monday, and they play
They've got,
Crystal Palace. They're
yeah,
at home to Crystal Palace.
I think they're going to fare all right. Liverpool
Well,
are a tidy outfit.
I think Patrick Vieira might have a surprise. Patrick Vieira went to Manchester City last season and beat them up there. They've got a great counter-attacking style of play, and I think he suited the style of play to the players that he has, the young players. Liverpool have to play Crystal Palace on Monday, and then the following Monday they have to play Manchester United away. So, a big two games coming up for Liverpool. Well, listen, we'll get out of here. Any other comments you want to make? We want to see Erdegaard have a good game. I think this is about confidence, Dan, and we need to keep things moving. You
Yep,
know,
let's keep the momentum.
exactly. Let me just show the games coming up real quick. So you can see here momentum is important. We beat Palace 2-0 away from home. Hopefully, I'm going for a 3-0 win. You're going for a 3-1. And then we will follow up with Bournemouth. Bournemouth are going to play Manchester City today. So hopefully, City dent their confidence a little bit. Fulham, we may actually face Burn Leno at home in 2 weeks from now. And listen, we'll take it from there. Anyway, Stan, thank you for joining me.
Cheers, mate.
Do appreciate it. And we will see every one of you tomorrow on the Sunday show. Until
Yeah,
then, take care, everybody, and let's get 3 points and keep on going. We
up the
can maybe we're
Gunners.
top of the league by the end of the weekend, Stan.
Yeah,
Maybe
up the Gunners.
be nice. Take care.